Capcom just dropped a bombshell that's got the entire FGC losing its mind. But before we all scream corporate greed, let's take a step back and explore why they might be doing this and why this is not the best course of action. Capcom Cup 12, that $1 million brawl for the Street Fighter 6 crown, is going to be pay-per-view. At 4,000 yen or $27 USD for Capcom Cup Top 16, the same goes for SFL Finals, which is going to be the very next day, or it's going to be 6,000 yen, which is equal to $40 USD for both. The West is calling this as just a straight up cash grab, but is it just greed or is this a marketing strategy? We're going to dive deep, why the West is pissed, why Japan might not think anything of it, and why costumes may or may not be the answer. Capcom's chasing short-term revenue, but honestly, this could tank the game's future. Now hit that like and subscribe button and let's get after it. So on September 28th, Capcom's X account announces that Capcom 12 Finals, which is going to be on March 14th of 2026, and SFL World Champs is going to be the very next day, is going to be at Tokyo's Ryogoku Kokugiken, I think I said that right, are going to be pay-per-view only. Group stages will be free on Twitch, but the top 16 will be locked behind a paywall. The tickets drop on November 12th and it's all in yen, which I thought was very interesting that the announcement was in English, but it's all in yen and there's no USD. Replays will be free a week later, but no restreams, no watch parties while it's live. So the FGC is exploding right now. The Street Fighter subreddit is a war zone and X is just pure chaos. Pros such as Big Bird and Mena are like, this is completely nuts, and fans are swearing they're waiting for replays or they're just gonna boycott. The cost to watch the game in some countries is even more than the game itself. In other words, the FGC feels like Capcom is giving the West a big middle finger and alienating the rest of the global audience. So why is the rest ready to riot while Japan doesn't really think anything of it? Well, Japan's Street Fighter 6 scene is huge. As of December 2024, Street Fighter 6 sold 1 million plus copies, which makes up 20% of its $5.2 million in global sales. Kawano's videos are bringing in 250,000 views, and events such as Crazy Raccoon Cup, which is selling out arenas that are selling at 5,500 yen a ticket, and VTubers and pros are collaborating and hyping up crowds like they're rock stars, all playing Street Fighter 6. So to Japan, pay-per-view is normal. Even earlier this year, Capcom already tested this model with SFL Japan, which sold out the arena, and I couldn't find the specific numbers, but apparently pay-per-view numbers were huge. So 4,000 yen to watch Capcom Cup in their own backyard just kind of makes sense to Capcom in Japan. So why is Capcom pulling this now? Well, Capcom is a huge money pit. It costs lots of money, and just the prize pool is at $1.28 million. The Ryogoku's fancy stage, and they're streaming in 4K. All of this costs lots and lots of money. CPT has always been a marketing ploy to sell copies of Street Fighter 6. It's not a cash cow. In the past, we've always relied on ads and TV deals such as ESPN and Street Fighter 5, but the FGC hates ads and the ESPN deal didn't do too well. So going pay-per-view is their big idea. That's their big bet. Now, Japan ate up at Street Fighter League pay-per-view, with free videos of the day pulling in millions of views later. Even last year's Capcom Cup had 350,000 viewers, mostly were Japanese audience. So Japan, the audience there is Capcom's golden goose, and the yen pricing is all for the Japanese audience. I mean, just to paint a picture, if 50,000 Japanese Street Fighter 6 fans were to buy the pay-per-view, that would be $2 million of revenue generated and completely covering the prizes and then some. So the short term, it's a cash machine, but long term, I believe it's a trap. Killing co-streams and global hype could completely tank Street Fighter 6 growth and its reputation, which to me is a really dumb risk. So why not fund it with cosmetics like Street Fighter 5 CPT packs? Well, Capcom did say it, that Street Fighter 6's RE engine makes costumes a nightmare. They have dynamic physics, muscle flexing, no glitches across all 25 characters. Apparently one outfit takes 2 months to make with their small 3-person team. Street Fighter 5 tossed out quick sins left and right, but Street Fighter 6 demands perfection, dropping full roster batches. That was until the summer skins that came out last month. For the Battle Hub and World Tour gear, that's easy. There's no rigging, there's pass fillers, but fighter costumes, that's a bit of a grind. So for Street Fighter V CPT skins, it hyped the scene, but for Street Fighter 6, it's like, this is just way too hard, with DLC and patches are just completely eating their time. Now, as hard as the costumes are to make, a $40 CPT costume pack, or even a single character costume for $40 could have bankrolled CPT without alienating the rest of the global audience. I even said that a single E Honda costume, and I don't play E Honda, I would have bought that for $40, and I'm sure everybody else probably would have bought that, and he's one of the least played characters in the game, but we still would have got $40 from the rest of everyone else. And more importantly, it would have kept the money in the game and not at the gate. So fans are screaming this on X, that Capcom's stuck on pay-per-view and they're chasing Japanese short-term revenue streams. I'll admit it's a great revenue stream, but it's killing the FGC's soul and wrecking their reputation. If you think simple math, selling a costume pack that Japanese players would buy as well as the global market would bring in much more revenue that would go towards this and future events. And to me, that just makes more sense, because doubling down on hyper focusing on just the Japanese market does not make sense to me, because at least with a costume pack or a stage, everyone in Japan and the rest of the world would purchase it and allow a free viewing to bring in a wider audience, thus growing the community even more. Look, I see Capcom's game. Japan's all in on pay-per-view. Costumes are a pain to make, and we pushed for those big prizes and to grow the scene, but pay-per-view is a mistake. It's a short-term profit that could tank Street Fighter 6's long-term future. The game's 5 million plus sales and EVO's global fire, that's built upon open doors, not paywall, and locking fans out, killing streamers' watch parties, and pricing out newbies with a $40 paywall, that's how you choke an esport and not grow it. I mean, even games such as League of Legends and Dota use skin packs and costume packs to generate revenue for their events because it works. Costume packs and stages work. It will always work and it will continue to work. And like I said before, it keeps it in the game and not at the gate. We understand that the Japanese audience is their meat and potatoes, and the rest of the world is kind of just the gravy to go on top. However, if you are to sell only to the Japanese audience and completely alienate the rest of the world, that's just extra revenue that they could generate and also bring in more of an audience. So let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. I know everyone's going to have a very similar opinion as I do. And I mean, I'm not angry. I understand what Capcom's trying to do, but this isn't it. This isn't how you do it. This is how you grow it. This is leaving revenue on the table that they could have done in a different manner, and they should have done it because it did work with Street Fighter V, and now we have an even bigger audience with Street Fighter 6. It could have worked. But that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Shred out.